Right everyone, it is Finn here, and in today's video we'll be reviewing and looking at everything that happened in round 2 of Euro 2020. From a 6-goal thriller between Germany and Portugal, from England drawing with Scotland, and from Alvaro Morata once again missing another open goal opportunity. In today's video we'll be looking at everything that happened this Euro match week, from all of the results in round 2. We'll be looking at every table in each group where every team is standing at this point of the competition, and by the end of the video I'll be giving you my team of the week for round 2 of Euro 2020. Who were the best individuals this match week? And can I just say, round 2 of Euro 2020 once again definitely did not disappoint. I think there's so much competition and there's so much quality in the tournaments this time around that with just 1 week left in the group stages, genuinely anything can happen with most groups. It is so incredibly close, and really round 2 defined that, because round 2 is where teams normally settle in and it decides who will go through and who will get kicked out. But no, round 2, it was so incredibly close. There were so many odd results that going into the final week, that is where majority of the placements of the competition will be made. First of all, starting off, for example, it is going to be Group A, and looking at the Group A results, first of all we have Italy versus Switzerland. Italy winning 3-0 are going to be the first team through to the next round of the competition, and Italy have been fantastic this tournament. Even when Chiellini went off injured, defensively very solid versus Switzerland. I did expect slightly more from Switzerland, especially after their result versus Wales, but unfortunately Italy just were the better team. Locatelli in the midfield position, the defensive midfielder, absolutely fantastic. I won't lie, I hadn't heard too much about this player before the competition, but I definitely know his name now. Italy were amazing versus Switzerland, and 3 points, 3 valuable points, as I said, first team through to the next round of the competition. The second game of Group A was between Wales and Turkey. Now, I was not impressed with Turkey in their first game of the competition, but on the attacking front, definitely stood up and really improved versus the likes of Wales. But at the end of the day, Wales won 2-0. Defensively were a brick wall. On the attacking front, Gareth Bale was absolutely fantastic. One of the only players in the world who could miss a penalty and still win man of the match. 2 assists for him, and really was the match winner in my opinion for Wales. I thought Wales were excellent in that game, and they look almost comfortable to go through to the next round of the competition. Now, looking at the table for Group A, as you guys can see, Italy are at the top, followed by Wales. Whether Wales could drop down to 3rd or not, we're not too sure yet. But when you get to 3rd and 4th, between Switzerland and Turkey, if Turkey want to make it through to the next round of the competition, they will need a win versus Switzerland. Whether it will happen or not, I'm not too sure, but it is definitely looking like a tough group overall, and some really strange results. I'll say it was very, very entertaining group to watch. Now, getting into Group B with the likes of Belgium, Russia, Finland, and Denmark. Obviously, Belgium went 1-0 behind Denmark 2 minutes into the game, but came back to win 2-1. I would say I wasn't that impressed with Belgium, to be honest with you, versus Denmark. And Lukaku, fantastic game for him up front, although got no goals. I would say was my man of the match. He definitely created a lot of the important plays for Belgium in that game. Whether they were the better team or not, I don't know if I think either Denmark or Belgium were. I think it was a very close matchup overall, but Belgium beating Denmark does mean that Denmark was still rock bottom of their group. And this has to be one of the tightest groups we have, ladies and gentlemen, because looking at the table as a whole, there is 6 points, 3 points, 3 points, and 0 points. Genuinely, anyone can still make it. I think Belgium are going to be the winners of this group overall, because their final game is going to be against Finland. But looking at the game between Finland and Russia, I wasn't that impressed with Finland overall. I think they dropped a lot of quality after the game versus Denmark. Saying that, the Finland-Denmark game, once again, as we know, there was a lot of shock on the Danish team. So at the end of the day, I do think Finland have to step up a level, but I definitely don't think they will be disappointed with their result versus Russia, because at the end of the day, Russia puts a lot of attacking stress on teams and probably deserved the win versus Finland. But now getting into the Group C results, we start off with the likes of Netherlands and Austria. And I don't know what it is about Netherlands. They've got so many fantastic players all over the pitch, but at the end of the day, once again, not a team getting into second gear. I love this Netherlands national team, but I wasn't that impressed versus the likes of Austria. I thought Austria really handled them quite well on the attacking front. I thought Austria definitely could have equalized it. It's only towards the end of the game where Dumfries ended up getting the winning goal, where it was kind of decided. But throughout the game, the attacking front of the Netherlands team wasn't impressive. I thought Memphis Depay had a horrible game. He is a great attacker overall, and we definitely don't see the those performances on a regular occasion. But you know what? Netherlands beating Austria definitely means a great deal to Netherlands as they are top of their group. Now, looking at the second game of Group C, it was between Ukraine and North Macedonia. And I'll say this, although Ukraine won 2-1, I was so impressed with North Macedonia. I thought on the attacking front, they had chance after chance after chance. I was actually quite surprised that they didn't get a point from this game. I think they almost deserved it. The way they played defensively, yes, they were a tiny bit shaky, but the goalkeeper for North Macedonia, for me, is the only reason they stayed in the game. If it wasn't for him, I think they would have lost like 5-1, in my opinion. But Ukraine on the attacking front, obviously brilliant. I think the likes of Yarmolenko has been brilliant this tournament. It's going to be interesting to see what happens once he gets back to West Ham United after the international tournament. Hey, maybe he'll be given a chance up front in the striker position. Who knows? I think these tournaments are always interesting to see once players return to their club. I'm now getting into Group D. First game of Group D. Can we just talk about the England-Scotland game for a second? And woo, am I glad I'm not an English fan. I have seen English fans rage after this game. I don't know what it is about this England national team. They've got so much quality, but just like the Netherlands national team, it is a team filled with quality, but they don't always perform. Harry Kane had a horrible game up front. As we know, it doesn't always happen, but I do think Gareth Southgate mustn't be too afraid to bring on the likes of Calvert-Lewin early on in the game. It is a game that England needed to win, in my opinion, so the fact that they put Grealish, Sancho, and Rashford, three of the best wingers in the team, on the bench, I don't think that was a correct call whatsoever. Saying that though, Scotland had so much heart in that game. They gave it absolutely everything they had. On the attacking front, brilliant. Defensively, brilliant. The Scottish national team, by far the better team on the day, in my opinion, at least in terms of shutting down England. Whether possession-wise or not goes in England's favour, I definitely think Scotland were the team to watch in that game and getting a very valuable point in a game like this. Obviously, the other game of Group D was between Croatia and Czech Republic. I do think Czech Republic did deserve a win, but at the end of the day, it did end as a 1-1 as Perisic got the equalizer. As I said, Czech Republic are looking so strong in the competition at this stage, getting chance after chance after chance. I think Croatia definitely improved in that game since the game versus England. But once again, they are playing their creative midfielders in a deeper position, I would say, this tournament, like the likes of Modric and the likes of Kovacic have been playing deep in this tournament, more defensive roles. And if Croatia wants to make it out of the group, they are going to have to step up on the attacking front. Now getting into, well, before we get into Group E, looking at Group D as a whole, Czech Republic, number 1 in their group, and that might actually be a good thing for England. I'm saying that because the winner of this group will have to play either the likes of Portugal, Germany, or France in the next stage of the competition. So you know what, maybe England don't want to win this group. But as I said, I think the likes of Scotland and Croatia, they are going to have to step up another level if they want to make it through to the next round. Now looking at Group E, Spain and Poland, with one game left in the group stages, are bottom of their group. I don't know how that happened. Obviously, Poland, one of those teams with great individuals, but never performs well as a team. Spain have been very, very disappointing. They should have gotten a win versus Poland last night. The night of, this is the day after that game. But of course, Alvaro Morata once again missed an open goal. Once again, I don't understand. Having a striker like him, for him to miss chances like that, yes, I know it was a rebound after a penalty take, which first of all, the penalty should have gone in. Second of all, for Alvaro Morata not to get that in, I don't know. I feel like in terms of being a striker, there's just so many points where he misses out on. I know we keep on saying, yes, he'll perform eventually, but once again, he's almost 30 years old. I'm not sure when the stage of him improving is going to happen. But looking at Group E as a whole, first of all, it was Sweden versus Slovakia. Sweden obviously did end up getting a win through a penalty which Forsberg scored. I thought Sweden, throughout this competition, they've looked very good, especially on the attacking front. They are creating so many chances. Defensively, can block out their teams. Slovakia maybe didn't carry on the same momentum that they had versus Poland. They were still impressive, but probably weren't deserved winners on the day, which is why Sweden ended up winning. And as I said, Spain, Poland draw after Lewandowski got the equalizer. I'm just not impressed with the Spanish national team at the moment. I don't know what it is. Once again, I keep on saying it for so many teams. It is a team filled with so many great individuals that just aren't getting the results. And because of that, Spain are in pressure of not qualifying to the next round. Now, guys, getting into Group F. What a group this is. We all thought that Hungary would be absolutely dominated, but what a performance, because they drew with the likes of France, with the previous World Cup winners France. Hungary have had so much heart in this competition. I know Hungary's supposed to be your stomach, but they've put so much heart in this competition in terms of attacking and defending. Look, attacking wise, yes, I know they don't dominate the game with attacking, but guys, you forget football is comprised of many things. Defending is an important part of winning a game or getting a result. And Hungary, in terms of their defensive ability versus both Portugal and France, in my opinion, they have been excellent. Obviously, France are going to be disappointed they didn't get a win. I've been a bit underwhelmed with France's performances this competition because obviously their win versus Germany was due to an own goal and versus the likes of Hungary getting a draw. I don't know what it is about France, but they are going to have to do something about it. Their midfielders are looking really good at the moment with Kante and Pogba. In terms of attacking, unfortunately, they're just not converting their chances. I think Karim Benzema, for some reason, is missing the mark, but that could just be up to me. And of course, the final game of round 2 of Euro 2020 was between Germany and Portugal. And what a game. A 4-2 winner in Germany's favor. And all that really taught me is the fact that maybe Portugal can't defend a corner, in my opinion, or can't defend crosses because every single goal seemed to come from a crossing position. Germany were just out there on the attacking front and just went for Portugal over and over and over again. They did not give Portugal a break, and at the end of the day, I think that's why Germany ended up winning. Just throughout the entire game, there was at no point where I thought that Portugal could catch up. I think Cristiano Ronaldo had obviously had a brilliant game. I mean, it turns out you don't need Coca-Cola to run half the length of a field or the entire length of a field in 10 seconds. Ronaldo obviously brilliant with his goal. I thought that there were moments when Portugal did look good. I think Renato Sanchez's shot was absolutely brilliant that hit the post. This Portuguese national team is really, really good, but versus the pace of Germany, they just stood no chance, and Germany almost found a formula. They just ran down the wings, crossed the ball into the box, and it was a goal time and time and time again. I do think Portugal were unlucky in the fact that they got 2 own goals, but at the end of the day, they just didn't hit the levels that they needed to versus Germany. As I said, I like this Portuguese national team, but they haven't hit the levels that they should have in the competition, which does mean that Group F does look like this at the end of round 2, with France at the top, Germany, Portugal, and Hungary at the bottom. And although Hungary are at the bottom of their group, I think that they've been fantastic, and whether they go out dead last, they can definitely be proud of themselves. It is a tricky group overall, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in the final week of the group stages. Alright guys, so those are all of the results, and those are what the tables look like after round 2 of Euro 2020. I want you guys to put down in the comment section down below what was the most surprising result in your opinion. But it is now time for me to get into my team of the week for round 2 of Euro 2020, and I do want you guys to remember that there are only 11 positions in a team. There are 24 teams at Euro 2020. Unfortunately, I can't put everyone's favorite player in the team, and just because a player isn't in my team doesn't mean that I don't think they performed well. Please do remember that, and if you do disagree with any of my picks, just tell me what you would have done in the comment section down below. But getting into my team of the week, starting off in the striker position, obviously I've got Cristiano Ronaldo. Although from a losing team, I think he was the only chance Portugal really had at redemption. He was brilliant, and I definitely think he does deserve a call in team of the week. I was almost considering to put the likes of Romelu Lukaku. Now in terms of my midfield, as you can see, I've got 5 midfielders with the likes of Gosens or Gosens, however you want to pronounce it, in the left midfield position for Germany. He was just, look, he was absolutely brilliant. Obviously both a goal and assist for him against Portugal. Obviously played more of a defensive role in the first game of the competition versus France, but versus Portugal, way more attacking and was so impressive. I've got Kai Havertz next to him. Once again, another German player who was impressive versus Portugal. Next to him, I've got Kevin De Bruyne, who, as I said, a goal and assist versus Denmark. Very impressive. My right wing is going to be Gareth Bale. As I said, very impressive versus Turkey, and really was the reason, in my opinion, that Wales beat Turkey. And of course, my defensive midfielder is going to be the likes of Locatelli, who was brilliant, absolutely brilliant versus Switzerland. He absolutely bossed that midfield around. Those 2 goals were absolutely brilliant, and I just had to put him in my team. Looking at my defense, I've got my 4 defenders. Once again, Spinazzola making back-to-back appearances in my team of the week. Was my left back last week, will be my left back this week. So good for Italy, and I can't wait to see him next season. I think he's going to make a big move to a top club. I really do. Looking at my 2 centre backs, I've got the likes of Alderweireld. Defensively, very solid, and in terms of centre backs, decisions were quite tricky this week, to be honest with you, but I do think Alderweireld did perform well. Along with the likes of Rodon, I've got 2 Spurs centre backs in my team of the week, which I don't think you see that often, but Rodon I thought was so good for Wales. I feel like people are going to underestimate him because he's not a player to do this week in, week out, but defensively was so solid versus Turkey. In my right back position, I've got the likes of Dumfries, who was definitely the player to watch for Netherlands this time around scored the match winner. Same as previous week. I think he's been brilliant in the right back position and does deserve to be in this team. Now guys, it's when you get to my goalkeeper position where people are probably going to have the most questions, as I do have the likes of Dimitrivski, I think that's how you pronounce it, the North Macedonian goalkeeper. Now people are going to have questions about that. I am 100% sure about that. People are going to have questions. They're going to say he conceded 2 goals, but as someone who watched the game between North Macedonia and Ukraine, I thought Dimitrivski was absolutely brilliant. Obviously he saved a penalty, but it did rebound and end up going back in. But throughout the game, he made some crucial saves and really kept Ukraine in it throughout the game. And guys, that is going to be my team of the week for round 2 of Euro 2020. And guys, that is my video as a whole. That is a summary of round 2 of Euro 2020. I hope you have enjoyed the video as a whole. If you guys want to see more of my content and Euro content in the future, make sure to subscribe down below so that you don't miss that. And don't forget to hit the like button. Can we please get this video to 15 likes? But guys, this has been Finn, FYNN. Please continue watching the Euros, and I hope you enjoy the Euros, and I hope whoever you support does well. Finn, FYNN. Cheers.